Doctor, your next patient has issues.
Issues?
Well, yes, problems with her knee. And behind her knee, and around her knee, it hurts.
Did she say how long this has been going on?
Well, yes, months. 6 months, no, a year. She doesn't remember. It's been a long time, Doctor.
What? Why didn't she come in sooner?
Well, she seems to think she can diagnose and cure anything that happens to be wrong with her.
Who is the... Mrs. Law.
Yes, Doctor.
I remember her and her laundry list of ailments and issues. Not too many people wait as long as she does and try to cram as much into one appointment. Hello, Mrs. Law. How are you? Yes, So the front, back, and both sides of your right leg hurts. When you walk, sit, and run. Oh, forget the running. What? You can't straighten out your leg? Well, let's take an x-ray, shall we? Look at this x-ray. There is a teeny, tiny bit of arthritis. Not rheumatoid, just the osteoarthritis. You know, the old people get as their cartilage wears out. It happens to everyone. I honestly don't think it's enough to explain why you can't straighten out your leg. Let's set you up for a couple physical therapy appointments and get to the bottom of this. No, Mrs. Law, one problem at a time. Later at physical therapy. Hello, Mrs. Law. You say you can't straighten out your leg? Why, what kind of lifestyle do you have? Oh, I would say sitting in our chair so much after you've injured that back of your leg a half a year or better ago, that would wither your muscles around the knee, causing your pain. Come on now, you can straighten that leg out. A little bit more. A little more farther. You know that chair you love so much at home, the one you sit in all the time? Well, I'm going to tell you what you need to do.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
Welcome to the 94th Dear Lanadee podcast. We waited a bit, didn't we? As usual, it was Easter the last time I podcast. Yes, as you heard from my introduction, I've been having issues with my leg. But nothing that can't be fixed, apparently. I never get anything. Okay, I'm going to rant. I never get anything that makes me a respectable ill person. I am serious. When I went to the doctor and he took that x-ray and came back and showed me my leg, I was embarrassed. My problem was so small. There should not have even been a reason for my problem with my leg. Seriously, just a little bit of arthritis. I did go and have physical therapy, found out that because I had injured my leg quite a while ago when I was using my glider, and I was kind of favoring it, and yes, sitting in my chair way too much, my muscles were atrophying. So I have been stretching and trying to get myself to the place where it doesn't pull so much on my knee. But I do think there might have been a little bit of a problem in the back that created it all in the beginning. Well, then I had a problem with my tooth. Isn't this boring? But I'll tell you anyway. There was a good chance I was going to lose a front bottom tooth. So I went to the dentist, fearful and afraid, never liked to go there, a new dentist even, and found out that he was able to fix the tooth, but it still hurts. I had a root canal, and it still hurts. Well, the damage apparently to the tooth, the proximity to the next tooth, created a tooth that may eventually have to be removed. But we're going to fight real hard to keep it. I just have to be very careful with it. I'm afraid if I have that tooth pulled, I might have a lisp or a whistle, because I don't know that I'd want to have to spend the money to get another tooth in that place. That's one of the problems of not working. You have to count your pennies, don't you? And you can't just count on the fact that there'll be more coming in larger quantities than usual. So those are my ailments. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I don't like having problems physically. You don't think about those kinds of things when you think about retiring. You think about having all this free time, don't you? And I do think I have a low pain threshold. There is such a thing. People who just can't take pain. I think I'd fall into that category. I saw this saying and I thought it fit perfectly for all the time I've been feeling sorry for myself. It says, I walk around like everything is fine, but deep down, inside my shoe, my sock is sliding off. That's kind of how I've been feeling. Just not everything the way I'd like it to be. And it's going to get better. I know it is. It is beautiful outside. The sun is shining. I've been just having a great time this summer with, well, is it summer yet? It might be. I've lost track of time. Another problem of being retired. But the kids have been over a lot. Of course, I enjoy every minute. I'm sitting now at my kitchen table while Michael is fishing. Let's hope he catches something. One nice thing, now that I have a forever license, I don't have to go and I'm not wasting a penny. I like that. And to be honest with you, my time alone is far and few between. I really don't seem to have much time when I can just sit and talk to myself in the kitchen like this. Peaches is running around. Well, back to what I was telling you. I'm sitting in the kitchen and I'm looking out and I see the pool toys. I went and purchased a small blow-up pool. It's bigger than the other one. The kids were over the other day and they came with their suits, and when I told them to go out and play in the pool, they got angry at me because they remembered a little plastic, 3-foot one. Surprise! Grandma had a 10-foot 3-ring. It's 10 by 6. So while that's not much of a pool for a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old, the 5 and 4 love it. But Grandpa, what did he have to do? He invited them to the lake. You see, by our dock, there is a real sandy area you can swim in, where when you walk... There goes that phone again. Well, at least it's nice to know I'm loved. The kids had just drove by with their dad, and he had them all yell out the window, "Hi, Grandma." Wish they'd have stopped, but I'll take what I can get. Anyways, Grandpa took the kids to where our boat is tied up, and there's some sandy bottom, and it's shallow, and the kids were able to go and swim. Well, let me tell you, he raised 12 points in the appreciation scale with the grandkids, and I sunk about 6. Yes, I have a pool that I'm willing to let them swim in when they're here at my house. You see, I don't care to go outside that much. It's just too hot for me when the sun is shining, and of course that's the best time for swimming. But the kids had a great time with Grandpa. So things are going well. I am so busy. And I'm realizing that's really the way it should be. Time with the kids, time outside. Peaches, let's talk about her real quick. She is doing great. She's growing about 6 pounds now, adorable. A challenge at times because she's so smart. She knows what I want her to do and knows how to keep from doing it. She's the boss of the block. That is, she wants everyone to know she's here and has every intention of protecting our home. Nothing I hate more than hearing a dog bark. What I am trying to say is she is a barker wannabe. I am attempting to keep her from doing that because it just seems wrong to hear a dog barking every time, a blade of grass moves. And that's just kind of what she's like. Today, Peaches went berserk when a butterfly had the nerve to land on our deck. So much for Peaches. She will be going to the vet soon. I think it's June 14th, where we will take care of the problem that all little dogs have. Yes, I'm going to be a responsible pet owner and have her spayed. Then I won't have to worry so much when her little buddy, Hercules, who's never really met her, gets to meet her for the first time. I've been afraid about that problem because he's a lot older, and I do not want little Peaches. No, I'm sorry. My son would love me to have a little Peach, but I'm telling you now, if ever this little girl had a puppy, I just don't see myself being able to give it up. And one is enough work for me. Thank you. Moving on, I become so frustrated at how little I can accomplish on my to-do list. It seems to really dominate my thought process. And the other day, when I was trying to get some things done in between all the things we do with the kids, and, there's our shows we watch together when Michael gets up and his breakfast and lunch and so forth, that I was just thinking about it. And I was thinking, I can't believe being retired, I thought for sure I would have extra time in my life. And at the end of the day, I think about the things I want to do, including podcasting, and so many times nothing gets done off my list. And the Lord interjected a thought, and I tried to explain it. Basically, he said to me, you got done what you were supposed to get done. And I thought about that. That is a novel idea for me. You got done what you were supposed to get done. If we try to do good things, our devotions, keeping the house, playing with the kids, and the end of the day comes and none of those wish list items are done, we've done what we were supposed to do. Honestly, that helped me a great deal. But my whole life, this dream list of things I wanted to do, things I wanted to accomplish, I wanted to get some things done off of this list. But if I think that God is content with what I've accomplished, if I put him first, my family second, others third, I guess what I want to do really isn't all that important. Because after all, this is just a temporary place to stop anyway. It takes a lot of my frustration out, and I don't find myself being so short-patient. Does any of that make sense to you? I hope it does. Well, I recorded this song when I was thinking about those dreams that I had, and I'm going to play it for you now, The Impossible Dream, because it seems to me that dream just might be impossible. At least now it is. Maybe later. To dream the impossible dream, to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, and to run where the brave dare not go, to right the unrightable and chased from afar to try when your arms are too weary to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest to follow that star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, to fight for the right without question or pause, to be willing to march into hell for that heavenly cause. And I know if I'll only be true to this glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I lay to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man, scored and covered with scars, still strove with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star. To reach the unreachable, the unreachable, the unreachable star. Reach your star, too. Well, I hope you enjoyed that song. I enjoyed recording it in my bathroom studio. Recently, Wesley said to me, when he had been at my house for maybe 2 days, 2 long days, Wesley said, "Grandma, I'm bored with you in your house. I want to go home." And I had to laugh, and I thought about it. I looked around, and I thought, for a 5-year-old, my life must be boring. In fact, it might be boring for a lot of people who are a lot older than that. And I've been trying, seriously, to go out more and to see some friends, people I haven't seen for a long time. I made that decision to get out of the house and see a friend who's been undergoing chemotherapy. Well, it wasn't all because it just came to mind. Seriously, I dreamt about her. And then when eating out, I saw someone I swear was her. And if it hadn't been rude, I'd have kept staring. So, despite the fact that other things kept coming up, I called her and she agreed to let me come and see her. I walked down her driveway, arms laden with food she might not be able to eat, and a plant I hoped would cheer her. I paused on her sidewalk to admire her handiwork. This is one of those friends who has the ability to take something that others might cast aside and make it look amazing. She would place her treasures ever so carefully in such a way that you just had to stop and look. Among the rocks I saw a multicolored glass dish with pretty stones peeking out. It was broken, and it saddened me. If my friend had felt well, they would not be laying there. I then went inside and entered her dark bedroom. I could barely see her as she laid there, shivering under the covers. She was running a temperature, and it broke my heart to see her suffering. I began to cry, not only because I missed so many opportunities to see her when she was well, but because she was so sick. We reminisced for a while about our mutual friends. We talked about family and, of course, the struggle she was undergoing. We talked about God's goodness in the face of our trials. We then prayed, and I left. I'm glad I went to see her, but I'm equally glad we serve a God who is better friend to us than we are to each other. When I got home, I read my daily devotion, Yes, God is Good. And while I can offer my sympathy and promise to pray, God can and does care. And He's right there through all our trials. In my devotion, Psalm 31:15, when South African pastor Andrew Murray was visiting England in 1895, he began to suffer pain from a previous back injury. While he was recuperating, his hostess told him of a woman who was in great trouble and wanted to know if he had any counsel for her. Murray said, "Give her this paper, which I've been writing for my own encouragement. It may be that she will find it helpful." And this is what he wrote. In times of trouble say, first, God brought me here. It is by His will I am in this place. In that I will rest. Next, He will keep me in His love and give me grace in this trial to behave as His child. Then He will make the trial a blessing, teaching me lessons He intends me to learn, and working in me the grace He means to bestow. Lastly, in His good time, He can bring me out again. How and when, only He knows. I am here by God's appointment, in His keeping, under His training, for His time. We want the instant solution, the quick fix, but some things cannot be disposed of so readily. They can only be accepted. God will keep us by His love, by His grace. We can rest in Him. Dear Lord, it's hard to endure times of hardness and suffering. Comfort me and help me to trust You. When God permits suffering, He also provides comfort. That was in Our Daily Bread. I also love this and read this recently. God has a purpose for your pain, a reason for your struggles, and a gift for your faithfulness. So don't ever give up. I guess it's important for us to remember that everyday life is full of these struggles and these problems, but we shouldn't give up. And we certainly shouldn't give up on our dreams. Even if it seems like they never will come, they will. I believe God plants dreams in our hearts and mind. Even this podcast. Did you hear the last podcast? I was asking you how you felt about having a change in venue, a change for where I keep my podcasts, because I'm still struggling with whether or not the website is important. What do you think? Is it important for you to be able to go back occasionally for new people to hear the old podcasts? What do you think? I truly would like to know. It would help me to decide. It'll be a few months and my website will be up for renewal. It costs a couple $100 to keep it, but a couple of $100 I could put elsewhere if no one truly needs it. I could keep these podcasts on YouTube. I just need to make them into a video. Whether I show my face on them is really irrelevant. I can always put up pictures and posts and things like that. So let me know what you think. Well, again, time is gone. I'm looking out and I see a beautiful woodpecker on my lilac tree, reminding me I got to put a stop to this because Michael will be home soon, and I should have something on the table for him, right? Not sure if he cares or not, if it's big. He doesn't. I have the best husband. I know I've told you that before, but I keep some of these little steaks. They're the kind of Philly cheesesteaks. All I have to do is put some onion and some green pepper underneath a piece of that on a piece of bread with a piece of cheese, and he's happy. Or less. I could give him ramen noodle soup and he'd be happy. I really do have a wonderful husband, and so I need to thank the Lord for that. In fact, that's one of the things I've been doing. I've been trying really hard in my prayer time to just stop and thank the Lord for the things I do have, but also for the things I don't realize I have. So I think I'm going to go and try to come back more often again. I'm almost embarrassed to say that because I don't. But maybe this time I will. I'm starting to get a little bit of a grasp of what my life might be like. Now that I'm retired, don't think I'll go back to work. Shocker. Not as long as we can pay the bills each month and still have a little left for the grandkids. I'm happy. Well, take care and write me. And if you haven't been to my website, you know where it's at, www.dearlanadee. That's dear, LANADEE.com. And that's my email address, too. But I do care about you, and I think about you all the time, believe it or not. So much guilt inside from not doing these podcasts. Life goes on, and it changes. And I'm happy. I hope you are. If you need to write me, please do. If you have anything you want to talk about, let me know. If not, I remain your friend, Lanadee.